Yes, with the, wonderful morning.
Let's go.
Mic check.
If you need it, whoever.
Yeah.
Mic check.
Good evening, everyone. Meeting is called to order. This is the full board at 7:07, sorry. This is the full board meeting, Community Board 11. It is Thursday, September 26, 2024. The time is now 7:07 PM. We'll start with the conduct statement.
Good evening, everybody. Conduct statement, any action or behavior that disrupts or interferes with Community Board 11 business will not be tolerated during any Community Board 11 meeting and may result in individuals being asked to leave. If the action or behavior continues, this may be considered disturbing the peace and the appropriate authorities will be summoned. If the meeting is held remotely, the person may be muted or expelled for the remainder. Repeated violations by the same person or group of people may result in further action by the community board. All public speakers must address the full board or the committee with their concerns. Electioneering for any position other than official officer of the Community Board 11 is prohibited. Engage in any acts of violence, including threats on grounds for immediate suspension of the right to attend meetings pending review by the Ethics and Disciplinary Committee. Respect and equality, diversity, and privacy for all persons by respecting and valuing differences of a culture and opinion. Refrain from unpleasant disparaging remarks and other actions. Abstain from all forms of harassment by activity discouraging it. Dismantling false information is prohibited.
Do we have a quorum?
Count for the record.
Yep.
Chris, what's the actual count? We have 24 members out of 42.
All right. Everyone, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Yep, let's have a moment of silence for our fallen first responders and medical and military service personnel and for those suffering throughout the world. Thank you. So let's begin with our gallery section. Speakers will receive an initial 2 minutes of uninterrupted speaking time. Only those registered will be called upon.
So I'm going to be holding the microphone. Mr. Santaella will be timing everybody. You get 2 minutes. After 2 minutes, you can respond to questions from board members. We only allow 4. One thing we talked about before the meeting, I'm just gonna pick somebody. I see Ellie, Dewan. If you have a question, one question, and then somebody, let's give somebody else a chance to ask, right? One question, all right, per speaker. We go around and we do 4. You can have more than 2 minutes. If asked and the chairperson allows it, you get an additional minute. Anything after that, the board has to vote to give you more time. So it's 2 minutes and Mr. Santaella will be timing you. He has a 30-second sign. If you want a 15-second warning versus 30 seconds, please let us know. Please mute your cell phones if you have not done that yet. So,
The first person up is Ronald C.
no. We have an agenda. We have 2 people registered. Well, one is on the agenda. The other one, we weren't able to publish in time. If they did it, register online.
All right, so the first person up is Martin Dolgo, the Holy Name Society.
So come to me, please, Martin. We'll hold the microphone for you.
Distinguished members of the board, the Holy Name Society is a fraternal organization that performs charitable works and noteworthy projects for the betterment of the Morris Park community. They include the Christmas gift-giving tree to the seniors in our local nursing home, toys to less fortunate boys and girls, and a baby collection for single mothers in need. Our Lenten fundraiser, in cooperation with Big Deal Supermarket, had paid for a security gate for the church, parish programs and projects, and school educational programs. The late United States Army Colonel Anthony J. Marola served as the Executive Secretary of the Archdiocesan Union of the Holy Name Society of New York State. Tony was the Holy Name Society. He attended rosary rallies at the old Polo Grounds where the Mets, New York Baseball Giants, and Willie Mays once played. Anthony also published the Holy Name Society's bulletin in his home on 10 Brook Avenue that he sent to parishes throughout the Archdiocese. In it, he wrote about each Holy Name Society's accomplishments so that other Holy Name Societies could emulate them. Tony lent his support to our Lenten fundraisers by attending and writing about them in the bulletin. To date, the annual Lenten fundraiser has raised nearly $100,000, and that's from the Morris Park community. In closing, on behalf of the Holy Name Society, thank you in advance for your consideration to co-naming a street sign after the Anthony J. Marola and Holy Name Society, which will serve as an inspiration to parishioners and residents to participate in the Society's corporal works of mercy. Thank you.
Unless there's any questions? Rich, the other person who registered that we weren't able to put on the agenda, I believe is here, Miguel Dyer. Mark, would you want me to stay on this side or that side? Doesn't matter.
Hi, I'm Miguel Dyer. I would just like a round of applause for the first Latinx person to chair Community Board 11. Other than that, I'm really feeling very disheartened because of the racism on this board. It is very clear that this board has a long history of racism, but it seems as if it's going the other way also at this point. And although a former chair was an avowed, albeit tragically uninformed, person, no one that speaks before this board should be concerned about race, identity, sex, creed, political affiliation, or sexual orientation. It's obnoxious. And there are members of the public that come and tell you how to be Black. There are members of the public that want to own certain areas of the district, which is ridiculous. And I can speak to other than. I'm gay, Jewish, and Mexican. I'm like a walking DEI committee. So, you know, like it's, when somebody tells you that you don't speak for the community because you may not be a certain color or a certain creed, it really hurts my feelings. And so I just wanted to say that. Other than that, I really think that the rules should apply to everyone.
All right. Thanks, Miguel. Up next is Ronald C. Ronald, it's your turn, buddy. That's why I couldn't tell you. I was.
Colangelo, right?
You,
Colangelo, right? Colangelo.
Sons, yes, he's a relative. So anyway, I went to this new thing over at Maestro's last night. Oh, the upzoning, this and that, they're gonna do this. The planning commission voted for it in the morning, and you're having the first meeting of this group that night. Maybe you should have had meetings before instead of after, you know, you get 10-3 vote, and now you gotta fight because the rest of the city council go, oh, it was 10-3, we're on board. So, again, I went to the 49th clergy dinner with Irene, and about midnight, I walked down the block. The phone rings. What are you doing tomorrow? Christy Mamarado wants to have a protest in front of Jacoby because the mayor's come. What are you telling me? You're calling at midnight for something at 10 o'clock in the morning? Maybe you should have a little more planning. Okay, do they have any paperwork to hang out? Or are you gonna, oh, they're gonna have signs. So they drew about 25 people. That was the day of the computer glitch. So the man never showed. Somebody tells me, oh, he was afraid of Australia. I said, not a global computer glitch that turned off every airport in the city. I couldn't have. So now then the mayor shows up, right? Somehow everybody from the Marvin Park Association got to speak. They all had it set up. So Laura goes first, I'm gonna have to move. I live on a block, that's not happening. Then we get Frank. Frank walks around the neighborhood and he comes with the thing. Oh, this is a Christian neighborhood. Nothing like hearing like 50% of the audience go, oh. So, okay, I guess he hasn't walked past Laurel Park. So now, then Al gets up. Oh, yeah, you know, the guy that told us, don't hand out flyers, leave the nurses alone, don't cause any problems because it's bad. So, okay. So you sit there. At the end of the night, Christy tries to hand the man the signatures that we had. He laughed at her. She had to go back and sit with him. So again, we're starting late. We're trying to have a fight, but they're 9/10 of the way there.
Thank you.
all right, thank you. Next up is Gene DeFrancis.
Good evening, everybody. I just want to let everybody know on the community board, the Allerton International Merchants Association, we saw an article in, I think it was called the Bronx Bulletin. I would say complaining or requesting a date change in our festival. So our festival was originally October 12th at the High Holy Day of Yom Kippur. After discussing it with the board, we felt it was in bad taste and agreed with the community that we were going to switch it. So we will be having our festival October 26th. If there's any questions, please feel free to let us know. Thank you.
Thank you, Gene. Up next is Grace Marrero.
Good evening, everyone. Good to see everyone here back again. Well, most people, a lot of empty chairs there. Grace Marrero. I am the founder of the Allerton Barnes Block Association, and we're having our 4th annual Jazzy J Hip Hop Festival on October 12th. So we have flyers there. If anybody's interested, on the back, it tells you about sponsorship or vendorship, whatever, if you know anybody that wants to participate, everybody's welcome. And that's basically it. We hope to see everybody. And if any organization wants to have a table there, just call me, see me. My number's on the back, my email's on the back. Let me know if you want to have a setup that day. That's going to be October 12th, Saturday. Thank you. Any questions?
Thank you, Grace. Up next is Robert Press.
Thank you. I'm handing in to the Ethics Committee a complaint as to how confidential information from an email to me from Bronx Borough President Vanessa Gibson titled Community Board Appointment Letter was placed online by a member of the board to whom the email was not sent. I have also included in the package the email from Borough President Gibson dated August 23rd, 2024, and what was posted online by the board member. I have only posted the top of the email saying Community Board Appointment Letter and thank Borough President Gibson for appointing me. On September 8th, 2024, Borough President Gibson and I had a conversation about the email dated August 23rd, 2024. I told her that the body of the email did not apply to me as I was never a member of Community Board 11 appointed by her. She looked at the email and said I would receive a corrected email, which I have not received yet. Today is September 26th. When I asked Borough President Gibson, who gave out the confidential information, she said it was not her office and I should check with the board, as the board chair and the district manager also sent the email that I received. I hope this mistake by the Borough President's office is corrected, because if I had been appointed to the board, this complaint would be null. But if I have not been appointed to the board, like many people think, it becomes a serious matter to the Ethics Committee to find out how the confidential information of an applicant who was not appointed to the board got out, who gave out the confidential information, and the proper course of action to be taken by the board. Here is my complaint. I see the ethics chair, though, is not here.
She's on. I'll take it.
Bob, you can give that to, you can give
Yeah.
that to Jeanette. Is Jeanette here?
Any questions? Anyone? No?
All right, thank you, Robert. Up next is Diana Finch.
I might need a few seconds more than 2 minutes. It would be a mistake to approve the motion to foil the Parks Department for information on the trees on Pelham Parkway. Why? The board and the public already have the information. The motion was not properly presented. The FOIL request stems from a breakdown in the relationship between a community member and parks that the board is not part of and should not want to further. In the video of the Parks Committee meeting, the community member introducing the motion states at minute 457, a concern about what trees are being removed and the status and health of each tree. The online 62-page plan, which lists as a community's landscape top priority, preserve existing trees, maps the exact trees to be removed due to poor condition. But the plan was not submitted as a supporting document with the motion, making the motion deficient according to open meetings law. I walked the greenway and easily found the marked trees. I took photos. Each was either visibly dead, had a hollow trunk, or was rooted precariously around among large rocks. At least one is already gone from a summer storm. The plan also maps the structural and critical root zones of existing trees. Some root zones extend under the path and even into the roadway, but none of these healthy trees are marked for removal. Details for the tree removal contracts with vendors are not final, as the Capital Tracker timeline shows, so there's no further information to foil now. Back to the video. At minute 508, she accuses Parks of not being transparent, wondering what they have to hide. At 521, she asks the board to send an email to the commissioner stating this is not a working partnership with the board. The same community member disputed tree plantings done after the water main installation, in which her criticisms of Parks administrators during the by invitation task force meetings grew so heated that the task force was discontinued. The board deserves a healthy relationship and good faith interactions with Parks. A walk through arborist and the commissioner.
Time, hold on.
May I have 1 second to finish my last sentence, please? Here.
Go on.
A walkthrough with a Parks arborist and the commissioner would be far more productive than a hostile FOIL request. Thank you.
That's it?
One more.
Okay. One thing I would like to say, just based on observation, is that we all here are supposed to be working with the city agencies for the betterment of the community. I myself, as an individual, don't have the power to speak for 125,000 people. As such, I think it's important that we all maintain professionalism when we're dealing with our city agencies, because at the end of the day, we do rely on them, regardless of whether we agree or disagree with them. That's all I have to say.
Well said. Up next and last is Roxanne Delgado.
Hello. It shouldn't stay too close to me. I'm a little sick. Hello. First, I'd like additional time to refute misinformation. First of all, the full request was done by your district manager by request by a resident. That was me. And this is a precedent if any agency, regardless of who they are, comes to the board to present something and the board asks for additional information, the response should not be foil it. So this is not about me. This person has you would think someone will be for more information. Why would they come here to undermine someone trying to get more transparency? Regarding that tree, that's misinformation. In that proposal, which one of the electeds also checked and saw that that information was not available on that plan, we should know exactly to ensure that the trees are being removed because they have to. To question our government is not wrong, it's not hostile. It's citizenship. And I am an American citizen, whether how I look or I speak. And I should not be treated, and to say that I'm hostile because of my color, because of how I speak, because I'm asking for things that I should keep my place and not question our government, that's appalling. This is what this country was built on at the time by white males, but we continue that tradition, all of us, to continue to hold our agencies accountable and to be heard by our agencies for them to do what we want, not for them to do what they want. Most agencies don't do things, they do things for their mission, not always for the betterment of our community. So this full request should not be so controversial where I'm being attacked personally with misinformation by someone who does not live in Pelham Parkway. It's not, we have issues with people who live in Pelham Parkway that don't have shade in the summer. We have a heat island because every year we're losing trees because trees are aging out, or parts are removing trees because it's less time costly to remove them to maintain them or to prune them. So why is it so controversial for me to ask? And this is not for me, because I'm doing my own thing, which is separate from, but if an agency comes to the community board and present a proposal, and if a resident, regardless who you like or don't like, ask for additional information and their response is to foil it, then why is that? Then why is that an issue that should be made a complaint about? This is appalling that I'm here advocating for my community for clean air, for cooler air, and someone has an issue with that? Anyhow, one last thing. I was at a town hall meeting last night and we had one person, sorry about that. We had one person, sorry about that. One person that was the chair of a Queens community board, and she saw how she fought against power being including elected for her community. I was so impressed. And there was a community advocate who was actually arrested at community board because she was against a rezoning. So I'm asking this board, what kind of board do you want to be? The board that fights for the community or board that fights against the community? Thank you for your time.
Okay, gallery session is now closed. Moving on to the chair's report. I'd like to begin just by introducing our new board members. If someone wants to say something, let me know, but if not, you can just raise your hand and wave hello. We have Francis Steve Benitez. I don't think he's here, is he? Okay. Patricia Cambria. Dr. Tutu Musa Diallo. Alex Ellefson. Kadara Lowe. Jacqueline Lutnick. Damaj Nasser. Dear Taylor. And Lisa Villala. Welcome. So I was thinking about this past month and the meetings that we've had so far. And I just wanted to go over my observations in terms of successes and challenges. Successes, we've got new board members, which is great. And I've seen them, really trying to engage with me, with Jeremy, with the staff, and coming to meetings so far. There's a couple of you that still haven't been appointed to committees, but we'll have those conversations very, very soon. The committees that did meet and had a quorum selected their chairs and co-chairs. So we're following the new bylaw amendment that came into play last term. That's a good thing. In terms of challenges, many remain. We have an issue with quorum still today. Minutes continue to be difficult. My suggestion is please, every committee chair, ensure that at the start of a meeting, you have someone and you are certain that you have someone to write up the minutes. Minutes are supposed to be 2 weeks so that we can post them in time. Committees needing chairs. We have public safety, sanitation, and land use that still need chairs. We need a land use committee meeting. Hopefully we'll have one in October. And in terms of these committees that are lagging a little bit, it's a conversation that we've had in the past about the possibility of combining some committees. And it's something that we need to revisit. I know that there were issues with the prospect of combining some, but if right now we have a committee that does not have a chair, maybe another committee can absorb it. It's a conversation for us to have. Committee communications, I strongly urge every committee chair to ensure that you have the contact information for the people in your committee. A lot of times Jeremy is busy, and if you don't have their contact information, then there's no way for you to reach your committee members to discuss maybe a reminder about upcoming meetings, maybe issues that are pending, or just to discuss issues that may not have been resolved at a previous meeting. We have here we have a motion to disband all non-standing committees with the exclusion of the bylaws committee. Is there any discussion on that?
Microphone.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that? I couldn't hear you. Can you repeat that?
Motion to disband all non-standing committees excluding the bylaws committee. Oh,
Can you
yes, it
remind
was
us what
voted
those
on in the
non-standing
executive board
committees
meeting in
are, please?
August. I'm sorry?
Can you remind us of those non-standing committees? Can we note that?
That
for the
was
record?
literally my question. That was my question. Yeah.
Oh,
I just
okay.
couldn't figure out how to use it.
It is social media, nominating, DEI, City of Yes. Those are the 4.
Don't we need nominating?
So the nominating committee should be created prior to the election. So since we had our election in June, technically that committee goes away. And then when the next election happens, the nominating committee gets repopulated or recreated. Yeah, it's always been past practice. Thank you. Any other questions? No discussion? All right. So we move on. Oh, it's unanimous.
No. Anybody against?
Anyone against or abstaining?
No.
It passed in committee,
No.
in executive board.
So the easiest thing to do is if nobody's against it or abstaining, everyone's voting in favor of the motion, which is to disband those 4 non-standing committees. And if you're not clear what standing committees or non-standing committees are supposed to be created for a specific purpose. Once that purpose, like the election, goes away, so it does the committee. That's why it's past practice with that committee especially. Okay, if you have the questions, feel free to ask.
Anything else? Okay, moving on. The executive board received a proposal for an interfaith committee. Did everyone have an opportunity to look at the proposal? Yeah, if anyone wants to take a look at it, it is on the agenda. It's hyperlinked there if you want to take a quick glance. Okay. Yeah, got it. So when it was presented to the executive board, I think the decision was made to allow the person proposing to have a quick discussion with us and explain the purpose of the committee. Mr. Perez. You're up.
And if it's a result of a strike. I can't hear him.
Jeremy's getting the mic.
Good evening, board members. I hope that my presentation today turns out to be a lot better than the last time we met. However, it's taken me a while to create what was asked of me to present to you today, and I'm extremely tired today, but I'm going to do my best. I don't think I'm going to need a lot of time in explaining it. I'm just going to read, and you guys can follow along. All right. In our current increasingly diverse multicultural community, we intend to foster mutual respect and understanding among different faith groups, which is essential for maintaining harmony and building a stronger and more cohesive neighborhood. The Interfaith Committee will provide a structured platform for interfaith religious and spiritual representatives from various faith-based organizations to engage in meaningful dialogue and address and collaborate on initiatives that benefit our community. That is a synopsis. That is what my abstract is based on the entire program. I was asked to come in to discuss a proposal to create something based off on a vision that several individuals in the community had, not only in this community, but in other communities as well. I'm very well familiar with their needs. I've worked with them writing proposals in the past, creating grants, something that I'm effective in. So they said that the best person that they can to utilize for this would be me, somebody that they trust. So I'm here today on the community's interfaith behalf to ask that you allow this community board to establish the very first interfaith committee in the entire Bronx and set the standard and be the role model for every other community board to follow. We are not here to be divisive. We are here to bring people together. I am proud to be up here today addressing you on their behalf, but on my behalf, being a faith member myself, I have not hidden that at all. But I am here today to ask you for this one in a lifetime opportunity to be the very first to create something in this community that is going to take precedence and everybody else can use it as a role model. I will be only effective as you allow me to be. I will create the program. You guys decide whether it's a fit, and you can include whatever it is that you want to include on it. I just want to be the guy to write it. I think that's important because I'm passionate about how I write. I'm passionate when I come to think about things that are going to create positivity in our neighborhoods, whether you may think so or not, but I am a straight shot. I go right down the line. I don't favor one over the other. I favor what's right. And I always, always, always stick to the law and to the regulation. Thank you.
Debbie, Mike, right here. Just pass it down.
Animated series for the whole family on the Yes app. Join Red Bash.
Sandy, we can hear your stuff in the background.
So we're being asked now to vote on this. I'm just clarifying. Okay, so I got a few things. One, right now, I feel it's a little too soon because a lot of us were not really aware of it to be voting on it right now. So I'm not saying whether I'm for something or against something. I just would like to be able to read up on the something. So I was wondering if it could be tabled till maybe next month that we can, you know, have some time to, you know, do our research of what this was that was handed out. I mean, it very much sounds similar to the DEI committee that was just disbanded. So, I mean, I just wanted more time to research before we go and vote on something that was just basically presented to a bunch of us right now.
1 second.
So how do you want to do? You want to do response or do we
Can
want to?
respond.
I did go before the executive board a week ago. I did go before the executive board. I did address the situation. All the information that is here present today, that what I just gave you, was also sent to the community board. And I believe that it was sent on a hyperlink into your system or your portal, whatever you,
I do
yeah,
not
whatever
recall getting
agenda.
the email, so.
So what I'm trying to say is that I'm a straight shot and I'm going to continue to be that person. The fact that you didn't take the time should not restrict me.
Excuse me?
Okay,
Should-
okay, we're not
should
doing this.
restrict
No,
me from
We're not doing this. Thank you. Wendy,
So because I've done work with the interfaith, let me just clarify. I think I understand what you're trying to do and because I've done the work. So, but we all know, you know, churches have property, they have land, they own land. And a lot of these churches, they do not know what to do with their land. Back in the early 2000s, there was a big issue with churches and undeveloped land, you know, tearing down the churches, creating apartments above and having storefront. I do think it's a great opportunity to assist churches with programs, development, things of that nature, because they are nonprofits and they're ran by a different book. And I think it's very difficult if you're not really involved in the churches to really understand the politics of a church. So I do think that the committee is a good committee. At first, I have to say, when I read it, I did feel DEI-ish, right? I'm just gonna be honest with you. But I think if you word it a little differently, it makes sense because the churches are not covered under land use, under housing. So they do need a specific committee, social services. They do need a specific committee that's focused on the development of churches.
So what I wanted to say is I did have the opportunity to read the proposal. And here's my response. I am quite honestly saddened that the DEI committee was disbanded. I think as a community board, we have different responsibilities and different accountabilities. I also think that we are now moving forward and raising from a cloud where we had serious issues with diversity and inclusion. So looking at this proposal, I think it could greatly benefit the community. And if I'm understanding correct, all you're asking for is an opportunity to take the bare bones, put some flesh on it and show it to us. And at that point, the decision is made on whether or not we're going to move forward with this committee. I don't see any problem with that because that will give us the information we need to make a proper informed decision. Thank you. I just want to reiterate what I said at the executive board meeting. I am all for the interfaith committee. I just think because we're having problems with quorum right now, that maybe it could fit within another committee. Education, culture, and youth services is not just about education. Culture's in there. They should, a lot of these committees should be expanding what they're doing. Sometimes they just focus on one thing when they're supposed to be focused on multiple things. So if we're worried about quorum that we may not have because we're already having issues with it, maybe we could think about putting it under there. Because we have to get right now, our committees that are already formed, we got to get quorum up with those. To put on something else for somebody to need to attend, I think is going to be an issue. So that's just something, I mean, again, I'm not against the interfaith committee. I just think we may need to try and mend it together with something else right now, just for quorum's sake. Until we can get quorum for every meeting that shows up for the committees, we have to worry about that.
Well, he wanted to address the comments over here.
We have one particular item that the Interfaith Committee is geared towards doing, and is to present the Peace December concept to this community. If you would look at Peace December and what it represents and what it does, is when you have different communities of faith not celebrating and joining together during the holidays because of, you have Kwanzaa, you have Hanukkah, and all of these other things. So it's kind of separate. So we want to utilize the holidays to bring them all together and present something that we created collectively of Peace December, and bring that together, utilizing and bringing this to the school children and going in there and letting them know that Peace December is something real, but what does it represent to you? And as we go through the school year and we see a whole bunch of pictures on the wall of different events during the holiday season, this year I would like to see Peace December, and what does Peace December mean to you? And exploit that and ride that and take it over. But I cannot do that if I am attached to another committee that has an agenda. We want to be able to bring this committee in, push Peace December this year as hard as we can, because next year we're going to get involved even bigger. And every event that we have subsequently, month by month by month by month, it's all geared towards the bullseye, which is Peace December. So not only interacting with interfaith, with the property, there's other social conditions that we're going to be able to address, because a lot of these people are scholars. They have PhDs. They understand helping us put things together that we can actually approach and share with the community.
Ken? Says he requested unmute.
Yeah. Cynthia, I have one question for, is this supposed to be a board committee, or is this supposed to be a committee that we are just participating in? Because from my reading of the proposal, it is not a board committee. It is it is a committee that we are being asked to help and participate in, but not part of the board.
My understanding is that it's a board committee, a new board committee.
If I remember from what I read, and I don't know, I think you said it might have been an error. I don't know if it's been corrected. But in the proposal that I had read, it said that it would be run by one board member and the rest of the members would be community members, which again was something that I brought up. I don't know if we want the community board to be responsible for actions from community members that are not, that don't have the same responsibilities or guidelines that we have. I don't know if that's something that we want to do. But you said that might have been an error.
Was an error. The issue here is this is something that we want to present to you guys. This is a committee that we want you to establish, right? And because there is no real roadmap, there is no design, there is no visualization of what this committee is going to do, then that's why I'm writing it. Once I write it, I give it to you guys. You guys decide what is feasible, what is not, what is acceptable, what you can do and what you cannot do. What were you willing to commit to and what you can't. And then from there, we'll start just scrapping and we'll just start rearranging until we get something that is manageable, something that is doable, something that many people want to be able to participate in. Sometimes people don't participate in certain events and certain committees for one reason or another. I guarantee you, as passionate as I am, this is going to be one of those committees that is going to make you want to come here, discuss the issues, solve the problem, and go home and have a cup of coffee before you go to bed.
Stacy.
Hi, good evening, Mr. Purvis. Good evening. You mentioned several people were involved in this. Would you like be more transparent as to who and who will be involved in this?
Yes. There is one particular individual that I've been working with for many, many, many years, and we became very close friends, which is Sheikh Musa Drame. Very close friend of mine. I'm one of those few people that is allowed to go to his house with his wife and his children. He was the one that said, John, and by the way, he lives in the district now. He said, John, I want to bring Peace December here, and I want to be able to have an interfaith committee. I know that Co-op City has an interfaith organization up there, and they're doing a wonderful job up there, right? So, but nothing is included with the community. If there is no commitment here, the committee is going to establish itself within the community regardless. I think that you should be part of this committee and share in creating it and making it happen. But my number one guy in this whole thing is Sheikh Musa Drame.
So we should, I know Debbie had another question, but we really should go around to whoever first, if you don't mind. Sorry, I know I called him Veronica again or whatever, but Janice? Is that all right? I mean, it's up to the board ultimately, but we should go around
Give it
first.
We'll give it another couple of minutes.
Okay. Excuse me? Are you on or am I on? Okay, thank you. All right. I think we can go around this table a couple of times.
Let's just turn it off.
Okay, I think we can go around this table a couple of times. We all have various opinions, but if we can take a vote right here, right now, as to who would be interested in this separate committee, interfaith committee, I think we can just move forward tonight, okay? If it's at all possible, can we do that? Let me know. Chair?
Well, my 1 cent.
Excuse me, wait a minute. I'm talking to her. Wait a minute, Debbie. Hold up. Chair? Madam Chair?
Let's go ahead.
Is it possible to take a vote tonight as to who's interested in this committee, who would want to be in a separate interfaith committee? I think it's important because we have people of all faiths coming into our community. I think we need to concentrate on this. If you can take a vote, if that's possible.
Can I say my 2 sentences?
Did I finish?
Okay, we don't need to be.
Debbie.
1 second.
Debbie.
Janice, your point is taken, and I just want to respond on one thing, is that I do know that I have seen the borough president has a strategic policy statement in which she mentions engaging with interfaith communities. So that's one, I take that as a sort of subtle, maybe support. We had, the mayor's office had Breaking Bread and Building Bonds, which was meant to kind of bring different communities together. We know the governor also has, interfaith committees or groups. So it is a focus that I've seen. But to Janice's point, does somebody want to, do we make a motion to?
No,
Debbie,
I
go
want to
ahead.
say there should be a separation of church and state. As a community board, we're part of connecting to state government regulations, not saying church, synagogue, mosque, whatever. I'm just using the phrase, there needs to be separation of church and state. And, you know, I find an issue of having it as part of a community board committee. I think having a committee, you know, like Allerton Merchants, Association, Mars Park, so those are fine and dandy. But there needs to be a separation of church and state. It can't be tied to the community board.
Point is taken.
But I have a question, I'm sorry, because I
One
understand.
second.
I have a question for you.
Go ahead,
I
Naomi.
have a question for you, Madam Chair. So but you had just stated that the Bronx Borough President's Office has these type of committees. I think they have several. They have like a Muslim committee. They have all kinds of committees related to religion. So is that under a different entity than the Bronx Borough President's Office, or is it, do you know?
Say that again.
My question is, I'm responding to Debbie's question about church and state. The Bronx Borough President's Office has many committees dedicated to religion. So does that fall under the Bronx Borough President's Office, or is it somewhere else? I'm just trying to understand.
Got it. John?
The Interfaith Committee, the Borough President's Interfaith Committee is somewhat her own thing, and she gets to pick and choose who is going to be part of that interfaith. It may be 3 people from one area, 5 people from another. What I'm proposing is that we have, and I would like to see the borough president have a representative from every community board to share the same ideas, to share the same concepts, to have somebody from every board to be part of her interfaith committee, but she's getting the information from the community boards, just like you guys have to go, you have to go, she has to go to the board and got to explain to them what the posture and the position of the community is in regards to these different committees. So to have a borough president having their committee, wonderful. I'm all for it. But how many of those live down the block from you or from you? So all I'm saying is give us an opportunity to build something, create something, and be part of it.
Okay, so just
Also,
really quick also.
I have
just
another
to
question. I'm sorry. I have another question. Wasn't this brought to the executive committee? Was it voted there? So this is being brought to the board, right?
Yeah.
Is that correct?
It was not voted on.
It was voted on. Okay.
So just really quick also, I think context is really helpful just to distinguish what separation of church and state literally means. It's just that you cannot use essentially religion to make policy decisions. That's not to say that you can't form strategic partnerships with the religious institutions to foster community, which from what I'm reading, I read the proposal. I'm also, listening to dialogue now. That's what's being proposed. It's not really being used as a lobbying arm for any particular political decisions or anything like that. And we see that model, mirrored in a lot of different capacities. You even see it on college campuses, like the one where I work, where we have interfaith spiritual activities. They are not advocating for one religion over the other, and the discussions around them are not actually religious at all. They are just simply using religion as a commonality between all groups to kind of bring them together, essentially. So that's kind of why that's different from, a case of church versus state. For those key reasons, and the biggest one being that there's no policy or political decisions or conversations happening in those contexts. It's merely forming a relationship the way that we do with nonprofit providers of, Catholic Charities, for example. They are a religious-based nonprofit, but there's offering community services. So it's sort of in that same light as well.
I read it. And you keep saying that you're gonna write up, or can you hear me? Yes. You're gonna write up everything. So when you're writing up, are you going to, like, you're talking about different religions, organizations. Have you reached out to people that want to be part of this I know you want one of us to be on that committee, but have you reached out within the community who would be part of it to I personally feel that if you're bringing in this here, having more people behind you in the interfaith, supporting you. And right now I only see you. So my other question is the grants and the scholarships. Have you looked into how you're going to do that? Because saying, yes, we're going to have this committee, and you put some good stuff in that I read, but I think I just need more information. And listening to what you want to write up, I think I want to see that first.
What I want to write up is not in stone, and I think I was clear before when I said that. When I write it up, I will present it to the. They will determine what they're willing to accept or commit to. It's very difficult for me to put my own opinion on something because I favor one religion over the other. It doesn't matter to me. I just like to stick to what I know. In order for me to communicate that to you, I'd have to have you engaged with me. It's not just you do it and let me know what you think. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to bring everybody together and everybody to have an input in it. This is not a me thing. I have text, I have emails that people want to be part of it. They want to be part of creating it, helping me create it. I'm not going to fill up a room here with a whole bunch of people. That's why they wanted me to go in there. They said, hey, you're the guy. We want you. You know, I've been out with a few people and we've had this discussion. So for me to be, I'm not alone in this. I have them and I hope to have all of you. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. So Wendy, Diallo, Rabbi, and then we move on.
Well, April had her hand up, so did Joe Thompson. Can we go to the people who didn't speak first?
Quickly, yes. Rabbi.
Okay, thank you so much. I have gone through a proposal and I applaud you on this proposal. I'm just going to read something where you say strengthen community ties, and then I'm going to ask a question. So you say develop cooperative projects and community service initiatives that address common social issues and promote shared values while fostering relationships and cooperation between religious leaders, congregation, and community organizations. My question to you is, it's probably a very simple question, but I don't know if it's what you're looking for. So there is a clergy council that meets every Tuesdays or every other Tuesdays, whatever it is, with Mr. Thompson, I think, is very aware of the clergy council, correct, Mr. Thompson? Clergy council. Would you think, I'm just saying, would you think, I'm not saying it has to be done. That is clergy, and that is led by Pastor Gooding, I believe. Am I right on that, Pastor Gooding? Would you think of somehow, that's the rabbis, that is the whatever the pastors, so on and so forth. Would you think of integrating as being, for lack of a better word, a layman's group that reacts with them, meets together with them, and it addresses what you say here, strengthen community ties. Let the pastors and the rabbis and the priests listen to this committee, and maybe you both could collaborate. I'm not saying it's the best solution, but I'm saying maybe it's something you should think about. I wish you the best. Thank you for your proposal.
Go, do you want to go, or April? Yeah, go ahead, April.
Diallo.
Good evening. Musa. Good evening. Can I talk?
Yes.
Okay. I love your idea. I love what you're bringing to the board, and I'm for it. If there's a link that I could go online, I didn't have a chance to go over everything, but if there's a link that I miss, I will go over it when I get home. And if I can respond there, I will do that. I think we need that more than ever in our community. Thank you.
Dr. Diallo? Dr. Diallo, then Joe.
Good evening, everyone. I'm happy to be here. I apologize for being late. I think I just want to add to all what the lady next to said, and also the rabbi and the lady here. I know Musa Drame myself, and if there is any decision that need to be made on this board, I have to recuse myself, so I cannot be part of it. But to just make, Musa has been doing a lot of community work in the Bronx here. So to just refer to what you're bringing here, I lean toward Rabbi, instead of recreating something, just go to where they already have a council and propose to them and work together in integrating services. It is needed in our community because it's part of community needs. A lot of migrants coming from Africa, they're all Muslim. We have a lot of people coming from other countries, they're other religious people. So it is good to bring them together to understand this country. We are here. We don't know what their needs are. So coming together and being able to provide services for them will help them to navigate and to be better citizens in this country. We have a lot of theft. We have a lot of robberies. Most of them are coming from those people. What are we going to really stop them, to help them to integrate into this system? Thank you.
Okay, well, I agree with April and with the rabbi. We do have a clergy council that's pretty strong. Sheikh Hamoud, the Muslim community. We had Reverend Hernquist from the Protestant community. There is a clergy council. And that clergy council, run, and the head of that is Pastor Gooding. They do make an impact on our community. Now, what I would suggest is that they're willing and they're able, and their mission is to bring people together. And I think some way, shape, or form that you should communicate with them and maybe get some other ideas and that you can also be a part of. Because this is, we need as many people in this as we can get. We need different parts of the community, and we need people that people know, respect, to work with. And I think it would be a good idea. I know I love the idea. I think the church should be involved in this. I think this is a religious thing that we have to kind of approach. But it's very important to talk to the right people after you put down the right kind of path. You need a path for all of this. What's the goal? What's the ultimate goal? I know it's bringing people together, but this way of bringing people together in a positive way or negative way. And I think that perhaps you should, I would suggest that you contact and get in touch with the clergy council. And this way, perhaps these two groups can work together. You can expand what they do, and you can understand what you do. Okay, so I think that would be my approach. Is first contact somebody who's already here, who's already doing the job, has been doing it for years, but they have to expand. And I think you can help them do that. And that's my suggestion.
Last comment from Stacy.
Good evening. I Sheikh Musa. I know how wonderful he is, and he has done a lot of good work in the community. My thing is, I'm not against the interfaith period. Let's make that clear. Make no mistake about that. But I would like to know who will be working on this committee. We have a lot of negativity sometime within certain, and we want positive people moving forward. Thank you.
Dear needs clarification.
I appreciate everyone suggesting that you work with other religious organizations and leaders that are already doing this work. But can you just re-clarify specifically why you are asking to partner with Community Board 11? Like, I need that clarified for me.
I'm personally not asking to partner up. I'm just a voice. I'm just a messenger, right? My connection to the community board has nothing to do with meetings. But we have worked with other clergy councils before and partnered up with them before, associated ourselves very, very good. They have an agenda. We have an agenda. And the thing is, right, to hit both sides, 3 sides, 5 sides, and come together. I'll pick up where you can't, you pick up where I can't. And the more exposure that we have, the more organizations that we have geared towards the same goal, the better it's going to be. Not a lot of people trust NYPD. So we are the ones that will go into the projects and we will talk to the kids if there's an incident over there, like Tiny does with the spades. He goes in there and he talks to them, and he used to have dinners. Sheikh Musa used to have dinners all the time. And we did see a decline, and we saw an acceptance of these individuals who have no trust with the police. They don't have a trust with their parents, but they trust like-minded individuals. And we're willing to do the dirty work. We're willing to do it, and we're willing to clean it up. And I need your support, whether it's bringing somebody together that you didn't like. Well, that's the purpose of this organization, is to bring people that think differently for one reason or another and come to a consensus, because no matter what, we must work together to make this thing work.
Okay, thank you. Janice? Did you want to make a motion?
I'd like to make a motion that those people that are interested, or the board members here that are interested in this faith committee, interfaith committee, vote tonight. Okay? If you're aware, or if you think you might want to be on that committee, just vote tonight. I think we can drag it on forever. I just want, because there are a lot of questions that were asked tonight. Quite a few questions. So those of you that are interested, we can take a vote if that's possible.
Do you want to clarify so we need to clarify the motion.
We are voting to set, go ahead. Go ahead,
So
Jeanette.
to clarify,
Go ahead, Jeanette.
the proposal that is being brought to us is not for this gentleman. It's not for this gentleman to form a committee with one board member and people outside of the community board as members. What he is doing is giving us a proposal to create an interfaith committee within the community board comprised of community board members. From what I have read and what I understood, this can only bring us together and make us stronger. So if I'm correct, Stacy's proposal is.
Janice's proposal.
Sorry, Janice's proposal is who is interested in seeing this committee formed within Community Board 11? Interested in seeing a community and Community Board 11 having an interfaith committee?
Let me interrupt real quick. So the motion has to be, because we all have to vote on it. We can't just pick who's interested and then you're gonna be on it. No, we all have to be on it. So, or the majority of us have to be on it. So the motion is, okay, so that's, we do have quorum. And second, so I'm gonna ask you this. No, you stay there. Are you ready for us to vote? Because if people have questions, it doesn't look good. I'm just saying, I don't know if you have the votes. So and I'm not gonna lean left or right, I'm not sure, but, if you do motion to vote and it fails, then it's it. So. That's a good one. Yeah. So.
So my suggestion is a show of hands of people who are ready to to vote on a motion tonight. Raise your hands. If you want to table this and make a motion at another time, maybe at the executive or leadership meeting, raise your hands to table it.
The way it's going, we're gonna have to take a roll call, like,
Oh, God.
Can I interject? Can I
I
interject?
mean, it's not clear cut enough. It's not. It's like 5 and 5.
There's a lot of people that still have questions, and I don't think they feel comfortable. I know I myself don't feel comfortable voting on this tonight because I think there's a lot of questions that are still there.
So I don't think we should vote on anything right now.
Hold on, please. Debbie.
I don't think we should vote on anything tonight. I think that this is information for us, and I think we should table it as such. What I would say is through the cultural committee, education committee, maybe you want to attend those committee meetings in October, November, for additional information to the committees. Maybe you want to visit each and every committee, because it seems like this particular committee will touch each and every existing committee. So maybe you want to do that where it's smaller setting and it's more intimate, so you can answer those questions. Because the way the write-up it is now, it's a lot of questions, right? And I'm hearing one side and I'm like, hold on, wait a minute, I'm changing my vote. Then I'm hearing something else because the way I envisioned it, it seems totally different than what I'm hearing. So even I have additional questions. So I don't think anybody, so rather, let's not count votes, let's not count hands. It's tabled for information. I would suggest you get on everyone's calendar in October to make a formal presentation, and that way you can take information, write up something else, and bring it back to the committee to propose.
So, hold on. So I have a suggestion. Chair agrees with me saying it. I know Mary has a guest in October, right? So maybe versus that, because this would be a special committee, let's find out who's interested and have a special meeting about it instead, right? Hold on. No. People online cannot hear you. We really need to, it's almost 8:30 and we really need to move on.
Now used to? Yeah. Okay. I didn't have, my intentions are not to create negativity and waves, and such interfaith committee would probably do that. And not so much that I'm ready to go right now, but it seems like you're not ready. So what I'll do is I'll withdraw my proposal and I will submit it at a later time somewhere where we can have a dialogue and come to those decisions the right way. But I want to say that this committee would have created more of a peace than the divide that is being shown here today. I thank you very much. I withdraw my proposal. Carry on.
Thank you. Treasurer's report. Oh, please, for those board members who are online, please make sure that your cameras are on. We need to be in compliance with open meetings.
The treasurer's report has been submitted to the staff. This month, you'll see that there's 2 Friends of CB11 statements. One is for July because that shows the close of the fiscal year 2024. We have now started fiscal year 2025. So the Friends of August and September statement will show the entries from July and August. So that way we'll keep everything together. So once it's been sent out to the board and it is And anybody has any questions, feel free to reach out to me. For those of you who don't have my contact information, reach out to Jeremy. He will give it to you so you can contact me directly if there are any questions on it. Okay, thank you.
Okay, Hazel's not here, but Harry and I definitely have been working on minutes. Because I do agree with a member of the public who brought up that the meetings in the spring were important, and we do need a record of those aside from the recording. So June transportation letter, Ryan and I have been going back and forth, updating the letter. The board voted on a resolution. So it's hyperlinked on the agenda. I should have brought a copy or something, but it's basically, it's just an improvement. Like I asked Ryan, well, what's the source on this stuff? So he gave me the sources. I included the source material. So basically it's a tweaked resolution letter. Look it over. I know now is not maybe the right time. Can you let me know by next week, Monday, sometime next week, if there are any glaring objections like we had with the nice no letter? Let me know and then we'll hold off, but I don't think anybody's going to have any objections. So please look at that. It's hyperlinked to the agenda. If you need me to send it to you directly, I can. I did email the agenda out to the entire board. Again, all you have to do is open the PDF and click on that link. Name stands. So please remember, at the end of the night, while I do appreciate everybody collecting these for us, make sure a staff member gets it, either Chris or me. Because what happened is I didn't realize Chris had left. They were put on the desk and they all went into the garbage. So that's why I haven't been able to make name stands for everybody, especially the new members, unless you came to a committee meeting and I knew you were coming. But we will get one for everybody. I will only make a second one. Third time, it's 3 strikes, you're out. All right. So please don't take them home with you. Leave them here. We will collect them, because I put them in your inbox. So if you're a chair or a co-chair of a committee, there's a physical inbox in the back conference room. I want you to check. Yes, we email a lot. We do a lot electronically, but we do get physical things. If you want a physical copy, say we get something in the mail, snail mail, we put it in your inbox if you should see it. So unless there's any other questions, I want to move on. Questions?
Moving on to committee reports.
Actually, I'd like to introduce Juan Luciano, who is the new chair of the Economic Development Committee.
And point of correction, Luciano, right?
So we have 3 motions for economic development. The first motion was passed by committee. I mean, all of the motions were passed by the committee, and what we're suggesting to the full board is an approval of the renewal license for renewal liquor license for Patricia's Pizza and Pasta located at 1082 Morris Park Avenue and Tana Thai Restaurant at 1890 Eastchester Road. Does anyone second the motion to? Anyone oppose? Any abstentions? So the motion passed unanimously.
Who made this? Who seconded the motion, please?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Great.
So you voted them. Also, you voted them all in one group. So if you want to ask if anybody's going to be opposed or against, you could still do that here.
No, I think we did the renewals.
Oh, okay.
Together, and then we did the new licenses. And
sorry.
So it's okay. So Universe Cafe is a new liquor license application. Again, that was voted in committee, it was approved by the committee. We provided the information along with the agenda. The gentleman from Universe Cafe is here. Everyone in favor of the motion to approve the new license for I'm sorry. Any objections to approving or writing a letter of no objection for Universe Cafe located at 929 Morris Park Avenue? Any abstentions? Right, and that motion passes unanimously. Last, it was exciting. It's a motion to send a letter of no objection for a cannabis license for Excite Unlimited located at 975 Allerton Avenue. Any objections to that motion?
I object.
Oh, wait. So wait, we should open it for discussion first. Ms. Perez?
Is this a smoke shop? It's a legal one.
Yes,
They,
that's
they're
correct.
Retail.
certified and everything through the state?
They're
fine.
they're conditionally licensed. They're securing a space. They identify the space that they're securing. We asked them many questions because this particular entity also had a delivery service. So we asked questions about security measures and all the questions were answered to the satisfaction of the committee.
Thank you.
Hold on, was somebody online first? No, okay. All right, go ahead, John.
Okay.
Gene, this is in your territory on Allerton Avenue, right? Yeah. Do you know this location? Do you have any problems with this? You never met the owner of this new place? Has he been operating? Okay, so he's brand new.
So he is a new cannabis license. So we asked these questions in committee. The gentleman is a businessman, has been operating other businesses for a long time. Thank you, Mary.
Answer Debbie's question.
Sure.
Smoking Scholars is opening up on Allerton between Barnes and Waring. Hush opened up on Williamsbridge by Mace Avenue, and this one will be located between Colden and Paulding on Allerton Avenue. So there's about a 3 to 4 block difference between each location. Yeah, so it goes in like, there's a term, but just for clarity, none of them violate the 1,000-foot rule. So OMB has a 1,000-foot rule if they can't be within 1,000 feet of each other. And both locations, or I should say this new location would be more than 1,000 feet from either one of those two locations. So it's within the regulations of the OMB.
The other thing to remember.
OCM, sorry, I'm saying OMB, OCM.
The other
Sorry.
thing to remember is that in order for them to be conditionally licensed, the location that they identify in order to conduct business, they have to report that to OCM. OCM has to approve that. So OCM has already approved the location if they're, able to get a lease there.
So also, just so in the interest of information, also to my knowledge, OCM also, their approval is like the license is tied to the location. So you can't, the license holder isn't just an individual who can take it and put it wherever they want. Their license is attached to the location specifically as well.
I'm just curious, what feedback from the community, if any, the committee heard?
So, and again, these meetings are announced in advance. They're streamed through WebEx. And there were members of the committee who asked questions of the individual from Excited Unlimited, and he answered all the questions that were asked.
Was there any people who live in the community who commented during the committee meeting?
Ms. Castro lives in the community, so.
Anyone comes to the meeting?
Sorry, guys.
There were some people that had community, people that had questions. I live in the community. As for the applicant, I have no problem with the applicant. That my only concern was about the congestion. And
But a
that was
lot of this,
addressed.
a lot of this information is online. Is that not correct? Was this?
I did
was
want to
this committee
state.
meeting recorded?
Excuse me, Naomi. Excuse me. I just want to
Excuse-
state for the newer members, the Economic and Development Committee is a meeting that you should really either attend, or if you cannot attend, review the meetings. They're on YouTube. Because there's a lot of information, and of course, this is your first meeting, so I don't expect, you guys to know right away, but going forward, you should view the Economic Development Committee because there's a lot of information that you would need to be able to properly, or feel comfortable, I should say, voting on something. So going forward, you definitely should take a look at those recordings before the full board meeting. I always suggest that. Naomi?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say. I wasn't trying to interrupt you. I was just trying to state that these committee meetings are on video and they're on our webpage on YouTube. So what I'm hoping from everyone that we learned from last year, that we come to the meeting prepared and ready to vote. So can we vote on this, please?
Can I just, I'm sorry, Rich.
Discussions.
So I get it that everything is on YouTube. I get that. But a lot of us don't have the time to look at YouTube. So what I would suggest, even including myself when I'm presenting and I'm coming to full board, that be prepared to present. You don't
Yeah,
have to
but-
present the whole thing, but just be prepared to present the meat and potatoes of it so that for all of us who are not present, who didn't have the time to listen to a WebEx or whatever it is, that we fully get the gist of the meeting like we were there.
So
It's
can I
not
just
something
say-
that
Sorry,
it's-
I
it's
disagree
done
with
all
that.
over.
I'm sorry, I
Yeah.
disagree with that. I
Naomi,
understand.
just hold on.
People
Hold
should
on,
be
hold on,
prepared.
hold on.
People should be prepared. Jeremy sent out the agenda about, I think, 2 weeks ago, a week ago. I'm not saying
So,
that
look-
I'm not saying that you're wrong in terms of maybe a summary, but this is kind of getting ridiculous. We do this all the time and no one's prepared, and then they're asking all these questions. And I'm not saying there's new people, and I get it, but then maybe we need an orientation on how we should be coming to these meetings, which I
So the
put
other-
something
the other
together
thing is,
last
you know,
year. You have to come to the meeting prepared to vote, or with your questions should have been asked to those committee chairs.
All right,
So
so
the
let-
This is
other-
a
yeah,
before you
waste
go
of
on-
time,
before
and
you
that's
go
what
on, let
I'm
me just say
saying.
this.
I'm gonna
Everyone stop
express
talking.
myself. I don't care.
Naomi.
That's it. I'm done. I'm
Naomi.
done.
Thank you. It's, first of all, guys, it's one at a time. Stop cutting each other off. If you don't have the mic or been
I'm
not
not cutting
recognized
anyone
by
off.
us.
I was the one talking.
Naomi,
She made a comment and
Naomi,
I
why you
was
keep
stating
talking? Naomi, respect, thanks. Come on, go ahead.
No one's disrespecting
The
anyone.
other thing is, as a member, particularly of this committee, right, which is responsible for these controversial cannabis locations and approval and stuff, we kind of feel like, we are advocating. The information is there. The information is actually right now online. It's hyperlinked to the agenda. You can look at the information. If you have some questions, like, we can answer the questions, but we can't really advocate. We're just presenting the information. We heard the applicant. The applicant was very prepared. We actually have a questionnaire that we give to applicants, which is very extensive. He filled out the questionnaire, provided detailed information on his security protocol, on his delivery protocol. He has a company that is in charge of processing IDs, including passports, and indicating whether the individual is, 21 and over, whether the ID is valid. We checked all the boxes in committee. I hate to say, go look at the video, but we vet these applicants very well. These meetings are public. There are members of the committee that show up and they perhaps disagree with the applicant. But ultimately, what we decide as a committee is whether they meet the legal standard for us to then approve, send a letter of no objection. And this applicant absolutely met the legal standard. However you feel about cannabis, you took an oath that you were going to apply the laws, right? And you can't deny an applicant just because you don't like marijuana, right? I'm not saying you are, just saying that cannot be a basis, right? And so the applicant met the standard, and so the committee decided to put it forward for a letter of no objection.
Okay, so,
Can we just call?
yeah, so, okay, just a reminder, okay, whether you're online or in person, please raise your hand like Debbie's doing, right? If whoever's giving the report doesn't recognize you, doesn't see you, I will make sure he sees you, okay? So we had 3 hands up. We had Debbie, then we had Juanita, and then we had Susan. Also, earlier this year, back in the spring, we made a decision that we weren't going to spend more than 10 minutes on any particular item. We obviously, that went out the window with the interfaith. We got to get our bearings back, right? Okay, so we're approaching the 10-minute mark already. So Juan,
Okay.
call on who you want to, and then let's move on.
Debbie?
It's Debbie, Juanita, and Susie, and then we move on.
You said that you asked them and vetted all the questions and stuff like the deliveries and stuff like that. I'm curious on how they're proposing to secure deliveries and not be robbed and stuff like that. Because I'm sorry, I wake up at 4 a.m. to be driving a bus. I gotta get to bed. There's some nights that I do attend committee meetings, full board meetings. I can't be YouTubing every day to get all the answers. So if there's some way I can get Cliff Note of the answers when I'm at the meeting, I'd appreciate it.
How you will prevent his drivers from getting robbed, but the drivers will be equipped with a laptop or a tablet where they will be able to then, scan the ID, and then through this independent service, get verification whether the ID is valid or not. And I looked up the organization. I don't remember the name of the company off the top of my head. It was a legitimate company that specializes in doing what he said that the company did. No, the payments are done online. The order is made online, the payment is secure online, but the product is not given to the customer until they verify that A, that's the person that made the order, and B, that their ID is proper.
Juanita? We have to move on, Debbie. I'm sorry. Juanita?
Is it on? Juan, the survey, the questionnaire that you presented
Yes.
to them, can you share it with the board? Because when we
That's a
click
good
on the,
question. Yes.
Susie? Call the question. I was about
Great.
to do
So
that.
let's
Thank you
vote.
very much.
Everyone in favor of they call a question, right? That means discussion ends. Everyone in favor of sending a letter of no objection to OCM for the entity known as, Excite Unlimited. You know what? I
So you-
apologize. I screwed this up. Yes, the reverse. Any objections to sending a letter of no objection to OCM for Excite Unlimited? Any abstentions?
So no. For the record, okay, who's objecting to the application?
Oh, sorry.
I'm objecting.
Who's objecting to sending a letter of no objection? So it's Juanita, one, Jeanette, Wendy, Kadian, Debbie, Naomi.
Yes.
Anyone else, or it's just those?
Sandy.
And then Sandy. So how many is that? 6 objections?
Yes.
Okay.
Any abstentions?
Susan, Rabbi, Stacy Ann, that's 3. Oral, 4. Jackie, 5, 6, 7, so that's Pat, and then Lisa. So was that 7 I said? 7 plus 6 is 13.
Motion fails, right?
How many do we have for a quorum, Chris, again? It was 24, did anybody leave? We have 32 members.
Motion passes.
Motion passes. Motion carries. Yeah, I got Susan. Did I not? I thought I called Susan. You abstained? Yes. So 19 to 13.
All right, moving on to Parks and Recreation.
Did we do all the,
I think so. No?
did everything?
Yeah,
One?
everything's done. Yeah,
Sorry.
Parks.
Janice. There's a big typo on the B item was not supposed to be there, but, that's a typo. B2, just cross that out. I mean, that's details in terms of what the request for that FOIL was. So just yeah, cross that out. Just that one and that one, 1 and 3.
Okay. Okay. The motion, good evening, everyone. The motion to foil the Bronx Parks Department for its survey of trees, 23 trees of which were slated for removal as a result of the Pelham Parkway Malls project is, Debbie, what's up with that? Are you reading behind me? Okay. It says the motion to foil the Bronx Park Department for its survey of trees, 23 of which are slated for removal as a result of the Pelham Parkway Mall's partial reconstruction project. Is it foiled?
So the motion is to foil the Bronx Parks Department. So the motion is to foil them. It's a FOIL request. It's used as a verb. So it's a freedom of information law.
Okay.
So the Parks Department, when I spoke to them, I think it was July, they told us if we want this information, because the constituent reached out to me, I reached out to Parks. They told us, if you want this information, you have to FOIL it. I mean, the commissioner also personally called me, told me, even if we FOIL you, or even if we FOIL them, then we're not going to get it because it's currently in contract, but
It's gonna be done anyway.
whatever, it's up to the board. How do you want to proceed?
Okay.
The motion is to foil the Bronx Parks Department. Who has a question? Okay, we'll go to Juan. And then you had, who? Somebody else? Then Ryan? Anyone else?
I think the presentation from Ms. Finch, she said that Parks Department has essentially provided all of the information in a 32-page proposal, which included identification of the trees. And then she personally went and identified the trees that were going to be removed. I don't understand what exactly it is that we're foiling. If all the information is already public, I don't understand. Sorry. I'm so sorry. You had your opportunity. You presented Mr. Gallus.
So we can clarify that.
Go ahead.
If I can clarify that, but maybe Ryan, let's get through questions first.
My only question is if that report is there, I have seen the diagram of the trees that is public. If maybe instead of foiling them and going through with this motion now, perhaps we could disseminate that report. I haven't found it online. I've only seen the printout.
So the concern or complaint from the public is that it's not detailed enough. That's, I guess, that's the gist of it.
Have these trees been removed?
No, No,
No?
no, but their plantings have happened, I think, but I don't
Okay.
believe any of the trees have been removed yet. I don't know. Members of the public might have a better sense of that.
Okay. Okay.
Uh,
All right.
Rich?
Really quick. So did this left committee, right? This was voted on committee? Right?
Yes.
I mean,
Yes, it
if
was.
you guys want this, I don't see why we would vote against it. If this is what you guys want, it's just to ask for information. I totally get that there's a 62-page report, but asking for more information to me doesn't seem to hurt. That's my opinion.
Okay.
It's up to you.
All right.
Let's just
Let's
add a
just call the
question.
question.
Jeremy, I have one question.
Yeah, Ken.
Yeah, you said you spoke to the Parks Fund. Is this a document that they have now in their possession? A
I
specific
believe
document?
so,
they're
but
looking
I was
for?
told that we would not get it.
Okay,
even if
thank
we
you.
foiled it.
Yeah. Okay, number 3.
No.
We have to vote.
Okay, go ahead.
That was discussion. So
Take a vote.
anyone against? What?
Jeanette?
So, so one against, Oral's recusing himself. Anyone else? Okay, anyone else? Any abstentions? I see. So hold on. So Janetta was against, that's one.
3.
One recusal, Oral.
Abstentions?
One,
1, 2, 3.
Stacy Ann abstaining,
Yep.
Wendy, Susan,
Just-
Cynthia, Ryan, Juan. And
Abstention.
that's it. So then motion carries, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Janice, number
Okay,
3.
the next motion is to send a letter to the Parks Department requesting that the Eastchester Playground be closed nightly. Okay, there are things going on at night that shouldn't be going on. The park should be closed, okay?
Any discussion, questions?
Eastchester Park, Eastchester. Yes, they want that park in Eastchester Gardens closed in the evening. Okay, all right? Any other questions? Go ahead.
Ryan?
I support this and I'm voting in favor, but we did speak with the Committee on Open Government and they did say that if we're voting on a letter, we should have the letter and have the text so that both the board members and the public can review it before we vote on it. So I think that more properly, we should probably wait until next month, but I'm in favor of it regardless.
Any other discussion?
Can I speak?
Go ahead, Naomi.
Yeah, I agree with Ryan. I think you guys should have whatever you're proposing all together, and then we can review it and make sure that that's what we want to go forward with. Thank you.
Ken?
Ken Gilman?
To unmute.
Okay.
One
Go
one
ahead.
question. Even if they close it, who's going to enforce it and how is it going to be different than it is now?
I
Because
guess if they find somebody climbing over the fence, you know, but let them close it, okay?
okay.
Thank you.
Anything else? All right. So are there any objections?
Any objections?
I object.
Any abstentions? Naomi objects.
Any others? One objection. Okay,
Okay.
abstentions. So recusing, Oral's recusing himself. So just to be clear, if you feel like you have a conflict of interest and you cannot legally vote, that's your decision. If you want to recuse yourself, it will not count against motion. So one recusal, one against, any abstentions?
Passes.
Okay, so then otherwise it passes.
Okay.
Everyone else is in favor.
Thank you. Rabbi, transportation.
No, I don't like that one.
No, that one I fixed. I got it. I fixed it. I'm not lying.
Okay, now I like it. Okay. So I would first like to thank Mr. DeFrancis for moving his street festival in respect to the religious holiest day of the year in the Jewish religion, Yom Kippur. He should be commended for that, and I want to put that on the record. Next, now we go to transportation. So the first one is pretty simple. It's a motion of no objection for the co-naming application for the Anthony J. Marola Holy Name Society place. Is there any discussion on that? Okay, we will call on our friend Debbie down there.
I had, during the summer, I had responded back with the email of, for this application. The people on the petition don't even live in the neighborhood. When there was a few years back, when there was somebody else, that Parkway wanted to name a street after Elaine Felder, said, they were told by the city that you had to have 55% of the people that lived on the block to sign the petition. So they were denied the street naming back then. So I find it, a little disturbing that the people that were on this petition do not live on the block. I'm not saying it's a bad idea or anything. I'm just finding it's disturbing that one rule is for one organization and a different rule is for a different organization.
So there was 2 petitions. The first one, she's correct. And I made the objections or concerns clear to the applicant. They did provide a second petition with people who lived on the block. I did group it all together on the website. It is redacted because I can't give out personal information. And I said to the committee, anybody who wants to see the unredacted, because the board members are entitled to it, but nobody, people outside of the board, the public are not.
Okay, so Mr. District Manager, you're saying this 55% quota was met on the second.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying there was a second petition. There was a second petition with people on the block. I don't remember the count. I know their names are there, but in terms of their actual addresses, I can't speak to that right now.
Okay.
I would have to, but yeah.
So if you knew this was my concern since at least July,
And
then how come we don't know about if it meets if the second one meets the 55% or not?
well, I specifically had Harry reach out to you with the updated information.
I did not receive that.
Harriet, correct me, I think Harriet's in the meeting. I can look through my emails too. If we want to come back to this under old business, I could do that.
Okay. So we'll come back to it at old business. Okay, transportation number B. I'm just going to say there was a motion and I'm going to stop right there. This motion has been withdrawn by my members of the committee. They agreed with me and it will be put on our agenda for our October transportation meeting. And that October transportation meeting is going to be very important for everybody here because the great MTA will be showing up to that meeting to speak about the Metro North project. And at this time, I'd also like to thank Council Member Marimato for providing funds for a parking facility at the station. Now, I don't know where the parking is going to be, but the funds have been provided by the council member. So I applaud her for that because one of my questions from day one was you're building a station, but you have nowhere for people to park their cars. So that is applauded to the council member on that. Any questions? I am ready to answer. No questions? I'm not ready to answer. Thank you so much. And have yourself, for all our Jewish members and all for our non-Jewish members, have a beautiful Jewish New Year, and we should all live in peace. Thank you so much.
Up next is leadership. So we had leadership, we discussed the calendar for October 2024. It's in your inbox. Look up what dates are when. If you have a conflict, let us know. But nothing else to report for leadership. Up next is community development and budget priorities. Ryan.
Thank you. Community development and budget priorities held our meeting last night. We had a public hearing on our fiscal year 26 budget priorities and heard from a couple of groups and residents about their budget priorities. If you missed the meeting, you can also go back and look at the agenda where we linked our fiscal year 25 priorities and district needs assessment that gives a lot of detail. It's about a 70-page document about what we find important and what we want to do in the district. And there's also a link to a survey where you can put in your top 3 priorities, and this is open to anybody. So I would encourage you to go on and put your priorities in. As far as for our board, not many of the committees or board members were able to submit their budget priorities for this year. To try and bump those numbers up for next year, we're going to try and hold a training on what we might request in a budget priorities request, capital or expense request, and we're looking forward to doing that in the spring. And that's all we did.
If I may address the petition issue, all business.
Just to reiterate Ryan's point, since this is a new term, I think we should all, as committee chairs, to try to move forward for the rest of the term with thoughts in mind as to what kind of requests you might want to make for the following year. Thank you.
For education, culture, and youth services, we held our elections, so hello, Chair. And we have Susie Perez as our co-chair. Next month, we should be Henry Street Settlement, a nonprofit organization throughout the city, providing various school supports, will be presenting to the committee. Thank you.
Naomi? Naomi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
You're up.
Oh, I can speak? Okay. So basically we made our elections for chair and co-chair. Have been reelected, thank you, to Chair of the Ethics and Disciplinary Committee. And Jeanette Wilson is going to be my partner in crime as the co-chair. So congratulations, Jeanette. Also, I wanted to report that next month we are going to have a special presentation on human rights. I'm going to have some discussion on race. And I just wanted to make a point because I have received some complaints about the public and about community board members talking about race and exclusion. And I do want to, like, after that discussion that we'll have with the Human Rights Department, I do want to maybe possibly put in some motions on, in terms of inclusion, because I don't think it's right for people to state things that they don't know about other people's races or persons or genders. We live in a very diverse community, and we all should be respected. So, I'm just saying, please be conscious when you're speaking about other people. I think it's important to keep to the subject at hand rather than talking about someone's race or religion. So I just wanted to state that. Also, I noticed on the agenda that there's a motion missing from the executive committee or the leadership committee that I made about working with grassroots again. So I would like to make a motion for the community board to work with grassroots on November 2nd, 23rd, or November 30th between 9 and 11.
I'll second.
Yeah, it was passed in committee. My mistake on that, Naomi. She's
No
right. It
problem.
did pass in committee, so it should be live.
Because I watched the video and I
Yeah,
remember.
no, I remember.
So if we could vote on that, I just need to know if you'd like to First motion is, would you like to participate with grassroots in November? And then I guess which date you would like to do.
So maybe because we have new people, Naomi, you want to explain what we've already done? This is the second time we would be doing this. We already had a motion before, right? It was approved. Do you want to, I
Correct.
know we have limited time, but again, we have new people here. Do you want to just, because it's obviously, it's a really good thing what you're doing. Do you mind just briefly explaining what it is?
Sure. Sure. So I'll briefly, in a couple of sentences, Grassroots is a community-based organization that is dedicated to stomping out hunger. And what we do on a Saturday morning, they sort out 14,000 pounds of food, and we drive it out to different designated areas in the Bronx. And those areas disseminate the food within their community. So as an act of service and also to kind of bring the board together, we did a successful August 3rd event. Many people came and helped us to sort out food. You can either sort out food and drive the food to a designated area or just sort food. And we had a great time. And so I'm proposing that we do it again in November.
For the record, I seconded.
I just wanted to say I was out there in August and it was one of the hottest days of the summer, but it was still a really nice time. Got together. It wasn't hard work. There were a lot of folks out there, snacks and coffee. And it was nice to get together and do some of this work with other folks in the community and people from outside of the community. We had people from all over the city, and it's just down the street. It's back there by Home Depot and Aldi. It's easy to get to and a nice time.
All right, so it seems like the motion is to have another community board team do another food distribution packing event with Grassroots, and then we'll finalize the date later. Naomi?
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Okay. Any objections? Any abstentions? Motion passes.
Yeah, that's the end of my report. Thank you.
Thanks, Naomi. Sandy? Oh, Sandy, you need to unmute.
I'm unmuted. I'm
Hear
sorry,
you.
I can't talk any louder. I have
It's
a
okay.
very bad cold. We had a wonderful speaker from Arriva come and talk about the organization and what services they offer. And I think she sent information that may be at the board now. We're going to have a speaker next month from Black Nurses Association. And the other speaker who was supposed to come is now having an operation, but she's going to send me all of the information to my house, and then I will bring it to the next board meeting or leave the information in the office. It's about Bronx cancer care and what they do for cancer patients, etc. Oh, and we did hold elections, and I was chosen chair, and Joanne is co-chair. Any
Sandy
questions?
too? Yeah, Sandy, Cynthia
Yes.
told me also at your meeting, the organization talked about, your guest speaker talked about, needing the location to
Oh,
help people
yes.
with services, right?
Yes. And I recommended that maybe we could allow them to come in one day a week to the office and sit in the back room and deal with the clients there. But I didn't know who is supposed to approve that.
Yeah, so have them get in touch with me. This is not an unusual request, or we
Oh,
had
okay.
we had the Department of Labor in our office once before. They would help people with the resumes and whatnot. Thanks to council member Torres, Richie Torres, when he was a city council member, he did arrange for the Met Council on Jewish Poverty to have people come. They would sign people up for food stamps. So we've done this
great.
before where we've utilized the conference office during the day when it's not being utilized. Just put them in touch with me.
All
If
right.
anyone has any objections to it, let me
And
know,
it
but
would
we,
be Jeremy, if I may, it would probably be an ongoing thing once a week or maybe twice a month or something like that. It would not be a one-shot deal.
yeah, but I mean, it's during the day. It shouldn't interrupt
Right.
board business at night or the staff business.
Thank you so much for reminding me. My head is so stuffy. All right, great. I will get in touch with her tomorrow.
All right, thank you, Sandy. Up next is
You're
housing.
welcome.
Oh, the letter of support for Sandy. Yeah.
So we did leave off that we would try to reach out to NICENA again so that we can get a little more clarity on the letter of support for the nurses with the cross-training at Montefiore. So I did leave a message with the NICENA person and I'm waiting to hear back.
For
Thank you.
housing, yep. Thank you. So for housing, Jeremy, myself, this past summer, visited the DSS Blondell homeless shelter. It was a good event. We were there with 2 council folks and members of the community. Who else, Jeremy?
So yeah, 2 council members showed up, council member Marmorato, I'm a staff member of hers, council member Farias, and a staff member of hers. My colleague at CB 10, Matt Cruz. So this is on Blondell Avenue. If you know what Blondell is, it's by the MTA yard by Westchester Square. So if you're going, it's a one-way street, Blondell. When you're going north on Blondell, right-hand side is Community Board 11, left-hand side is Community Board 10. That's why Community Board 10 was there, because in actuality, if there's any issues or concerns, it'll probably affect them more than it will us, because Westchester Square is their area. Who else? Yeah, Rich was there. I forget who else was there. I had members of the public who wanted to be there, but they are maybe being slotted for their CAB, a community advisory board, or I forget exactly the terminology that they have. They have community advisory boards that help with, integration, whatever, any issues. They did ask me, members of the public did ask me about metal detectors. They have a security person on every floor. They do have a magnet wand. Yeah, magnetometer. That's what it is. Yeah, it was a nice visit. It looked like a very state of the art shelter. Right next door to it, we could see Blondell Commons, which is still being built. And one thing I noted at leadership, I showed pictures there. If anybody wants me to share the pictures with them, there's not a lot, but they had green roofs on that building. And so remember, these are bunks. It's a homeless shelter. It's not exactly like you're going to want to stay there. Okay. So, in case anyone is concerned about that. And they have all services on site. It's caring for the homeless. This came to us way before the pandemic, 2018, 2019, maybe. I think it's more like 2018. But, and then, Poplar should be next in terms of that shelter.
Thanks, Jeremy. And then up next, City of Yes passed yesterday through the City Planning Commission. It was a 10-3 vote. So the City of Yes Housing passed yesterday at the City Planning Commission, 10-3. So up next is City Council vote. So if you have any questions, concerns, please talk to your elected. And we'll take questions about that at the end. And then we chose chairs and co-chairs. Juanita Randall's a co-chair for housing, so congratulations to her. And I'm going to be chair of housing forward. And I think that's it for me. Up next, land use oral. Hands on. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Oral, go ahead.
Okay, so yeah, I am, I guess, the interim chair for the land use committee. So we're looking for a chair. I'm an architect with over 35 years of experience. So I'm willing to mentor someone to teach them about or guide them through zoning, building code regulations, city planning, code and fire safety, code and fire safety, New York City buildings requirement when you file drawings, what to look for. So when you're looking at people coming in front of you from the public or private, filing something or looking to build something, I can help you navigate that whole process and look at to see what makes sense. And I have a strong background of that. I have lots of connections with the buildings department. That's why I really can't be chair. But I can help to mentor anyone who's interested in looking into what they're building in our community, the type of buildings that are being constructed, understanding what the new requirements are for zoning, for life safety, for sustainability, for green roofs. I can help you understand that whole process. If anyone's interested in being chair, which we're going to try to set up a meeting in October, I'll be there. So if you're interested to learn that process and how things are done within the city and how things are built, I can help you understand that so we can work together until you get really acquainted with it. Then you can carry on from that point on. So if anyone is interested in new members in construction, housing, just understand the whole process, I can help you through that. That's it.
Oral, it appears as though we have the 28th and the 29th of October still open for possibly a land use committee meeting. So if the committee can look at their calendars quickly and get back to you before, by the end of the meeting so that we can just get something on the calendar, because we definitely need, leadership there.
We do need leadership because we really want to see what's being built in our community, right? I think it's very, very important, and I can help you understand that whole process very well if you're interested in learning that stuff. So October, what day?
28th and 29th.
Either one works for me. Yeah, 28th. 28th is good then. So I really can. I mean, you'll learn a lot. I can help you through the whole process. Okay.
Right,
If
so
anyone's interested.
We'll try to get it scheduled before, and thank you, Oral. Rabbi, sanitation. Oh, public safety, sorry, Ellie.
Good evening. I am the interim chair. We did assemble on the 17th, but unfortunately, we did not have quorum. So I guess we'll try again in our next meeting. That's the end of my report.
We're going to try to have the new 4-9 commander at his next committee meeting. So please, if we can arrange that. Anybody wants to, typically committee meetings are small. Typically we have the commander come to this meeting, but obviously this meeting sometimes goes a little too long. We're going to try to get him at his committee meeting, the 4-9 precinct commander. All right, if we can arrange that, please, we need a quorum, not just for that, but to vote on, to get it.
Chair.
Right now he's acting. We need permanent chairs for that committee.
Thank you.
And we don't have a chair for the sanitation committee, but we do have the sanitation department scheduled to come and speak about the new composting and the new rules with waste collection. So hopefully we can have a quorum. Yes, it's on the calendar. The calendar went out at 6:06 p.m. I sent it out at 6:06 p.m. So it's on the agenda, and we need a quorum for that too, please. And then, so that'd be the end of the committee reports, but Rabbi asked if we can just touch on his issue, because sometimes we run the issue of not having quorum at the end of the meeting, and we do have a motion that was voted on in committee. So just going to check in my emails. I did email on August 1st, the petition, the updated petition Actually, August 26th, I emailed it. We received it on August 1st. I sent it to Rabbi Hazel, Debbie, Cynthia, and staff. I didn't send it to the rest of the committee because I sent it to people who needed to see it at the time. So that was August 26th. And then again, when we were having a lot of back and forth with, members of the committee on the changing of the date, because there was an issue with the date this month. And I did say this is on September 6th, okay, we're gonna have it on 9/11, the meeting. And I know, speaking to one member of the committee, I know you have or had concerns regarding the street co-naming application. Please, and I'm reading verbatim my email, please relay those concerns to the rest of the committee. In the meantime, the second two attachments look okay to everyone, ? We need to publish this today before Chris punches out. Anyone who wants to see the unredacted addendum materials, let me know. We cannot give the contact info out to the public without permission. So that's regarding the street co-naming. I'm sorry if I'm not clear, that was regarding the street co-naming application that the committee voted on. Any other questions, concerns? No. Lisa.
Whose responsibility is it to go in and check all those addresses to make sure that it's 50%?
The committee.
It's the committee, okay.
I'm not a committee member. I mean, again, I know the applicant is willing to do whatever needs to be done. I mean, like, I don't want to say that the applicant has been annoying me, but they want to do obviously they're very enthusiastic about the application. They're willing to do whatever is necessary. So I did all my part from what I can tell.
I think that if we're going to hold one particular applicant to a particular standard, then that should be our practice across the board. I don't know if historically we've had the committee members go to the addresses and go and count how many, what percentage or whatever. And if we haven't done that in the past, I hesitate to say that we should force it on this particular applicant. That's all I'll say right now.
Is there a way that we can ask someone from the city, based on the names that we have on the petition, if that meets the 55% requirement, they should have like the number of people that live on that particular block?
The 55% requirement is our requirement. I don't believe so. Chris? Am I right about that? Yeah. Rabbi, you have a mic? Yeah, you do, because they can't hear you online. And I'm sorry if I don't call on you because my back is towards you right now. So you may have to interrupt us. Sorry.
Okay, Madam Chairwoman, in all the years that we've done these type of street namings, I don't think ever a committee member went knocking door to door to see if these people live here. And if anybody wants to debate that, please do. But I've been here longer than Mickey Mantle was hitting home runs. Okay.
I never heard of it.
So unless there's any other discussion, Rabbi, you want to call the question as it said? No. You really need a microphone or do you want us to do it? Okay. Motion of no objection for the co-naming application for Anthony J. Marola Holy Name Society Place. It was voted in committee. You don't need a second. It was voted on committee. So discussion took place, right? More than once. Any objections? So one objection, Debbie. Any other objections? If not, abstentions? Any other? Okay, then motion passes. Sorry. I'm starting to lose it.
Just sanitation committee, right now we have Junior's on the committee, Wendy's on the committee, Who else is on that committee? Yeah,
Junior April.
Avril, right. So we have 3 people on the committee. We have no chair, no co-chair, so I guess I'll just schedule a date for that committee to meet. I don't know. It's scheduled? All right, let's just move on. Okay, we'll figure out the co-chair, chair situation next month. Moving on. Next Tuesday, sorry. We have a guest. Thank you. Okay, thank you. Elected officials, Bronx Borough President's Office. Thank you for your patience.
Who has the other microphone? Sorry. Okay, I got it. Harry, are you ready to time? Remember, we only give reps 2 minutes, same as the gallery, same as that we do for the public. Well, let's do the 2 minutes and like everybody else, then we'll go, let's go over here.
Okay. Good evening, Madam Chair, everybody. The Bronx Borough President has announced her fiscal year allocation for $400,000 for new state-of-the-art surveillance cameras and new NYPD mobile command to support public safety efforts, 40 to 52nd precinct, as well as Transit 11 and 12 and PSA 7 and 8. BPS called for expanded tree canopy coverage to mitigate extreme climate change to improve health and safety. Over 350 Bronxites die in average to the year, and 7 specifically of heat-related instances. The BP has a Hunger-Free America Hunger-Free America is partnering with DIFTA and Grow New York City to expand distribution and health bucks to older Americans and vulnerable populations to confront the ongoing initiatives to combat hunger and food insecurity. 50% of older New Yorkers experience some form of food security. The BP has been dealing with the aftermath of the gas explosion at Bedford Park. Thankfully, there was no casualties, but we had some injuries. We also are condemning the shooting incident at Middle School 391, where an educator was wounded. She's doubling down on our safety. Our Ombudsman and Constituent Services Unit, Larcinia Walton, is our director. The number is 718-590-6248. My number is 347-213-0375. We have Italian American Heritage coming up on October the 16th at the Great Hall at the Bronx Zoo. We're going to be having our Hispanic Heritage October the 3rd, 5:30 p.m. at the Bronx Borough Hall. We're having Tour of the Bronx is being earlier than usual because we don't want to conflict anymore with the Cancer Walk. So the borough president made it earlier, and the Tour of the Bronx 2024. And Lashana Tova.
Well, we'll let you finish, all right? Relax. We got, she can give you up to a minute if you want.
Okay, appreciate you. So also the borough president held, she was at Ferragosto, she was at other events. She is very pleased with our new members. Welcome to the community board. We're here to work with each other, do what we need to do to make sure. So everyone knows the introductions were made, so I will skip that. But welcome each and every one of you to Community Board 11. 311 is your friend. And on behalf of the Bronx Borough President, we wish everyone observing a happy Rosh Hashanah, Lashana Tova.
Thank you, Kenny. Councilmember Marmorato's office?
Legislation for Councilwoman Marmorato.
Please state your name.
Mark Knightis. I would first like to thank everyone for being here this evening and for having us last night at Maestro's for the Say No to City of Yes Town Hall meet. I'm happy to report that our budget season took place over the summer and we had a lot of district wins. We have some upcoming events that we would love to see you at. In the month of October, we will be hosting our Fall Festival and grand opening celebration of our new office from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. at 1925 Williamsbridge Road on October 5th. On the 19th, we'll be holding a food pantry at Throgs Neck Houses from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. On October 21st, we'll be having a blood drive at the Morris Park Community Association from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. On the 26th, we will be having our breast cancer mammogram bus at our office, giving free mammograms from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. That same day, we are hosting a food pantry at Pelham Parkway Houses from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. And to close out the month, on the 29th, we will be having a DOB, Department of Business, satellite constituent service at our office from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. I hope to see you there. I have some flyers in the back if you would like more information. Thank you again for your time this evening. And if you have any questions, please, as always, feel free to reach out to our office at any time. Our email is district13@council.nyc.gov. Phone number 718-931-1721. Thank you again.
Thank you. Councilmember Felice's office,
I don't think they're present.
Kavan,
Councilmember Riley's office.
Councilmember Riley's office.
And then there's, you might well look at that while, so you're not standing there. But you're on that side.
Good night, everyone. I'm Kevon Bolt from Councilmember Ali's office. We have a couple of upcoming events that I'd like to share with you guys. The first one will be our Community Catalyst event. That will be a conversation based around how to become a nonprofit and secure funding from New York City and your local council member. That will be taking place Thursday, November 10th at 5 p.m. The address will be 4101 White Plains Road. Our second one would be a community cleanup in partnership with NYC H2O. That one will be taking place Saturday, October 5th on Edson Avenue. The time for that will be from 10 to 12, and we hope to see you guys at that one. And for some good news, over the summer, we was able to secure quite a lot of funding for local community projects. We were able to secure $4.6 million for Zimmerman Playground reconstruction. We were also additionally able to secure $1.5 million for NYCHA Parkside kitchen renovation as well. We were also able to secure $400K for the Bronx Skate Park collaboration project with Tony Hart, with the Tony Hart organization. And in terms of beautification, we were able to secure $315K for community beautification projects in partnership with ACE. And again, I'm Kevin Bolt from Councilmember Riley's office. You can contact our office at 718-684-5509. Thank you and have a good night.
Thank you. Mayor's office.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I'm Alina Dow. I'm the Bronx Borough Director for the Mayor's Community Affairs. I wanted to welcome all of the new members. Welcome to an amazing board. So I'm sure that you guys have a lot of questions for me regarding the mayor. I do want to let you guys know I am not the one that can answer those questions. But I am the person that can help you with any of the community concerns that you have, like I have been for the last 2.5 years. I did want to share that your community, CB11, is a part of the NST, which is part of local law 102. I've been working directly with my director of quality life and your district manager have been sharing a lot of the different concern addresses. One of them that we're working on, we did realize that DEP really had to step in. I think it was one of the streets that you thought were going to collapse. We realized that's under DEP. It was more of a sewer issue. So I'll be getting back to you and obviously Jeremy on that. In addition, I did want to share some great stuff that's been happening. The mayor's really excited about Operation Padlock. it is because of the community. You see something, you say something. That's why Operation Padlock is really becoming a success. A lot of our illegal smoke shop have been closed down. So I will continue to tell you, please see something, say something, 311, make that complaint. If you don't think someone's getting back to you fast enough, send an email directly to me. In addition, I know that you guys have seen or have been in the traffic. I just want to let you guys know that is because the sting operation is in full effect to get those electric bikes, scooters off the street, as well as those ghost plates. So just bear with the traffic. That's because they are actually stopping them right in their tracks to get them off. If you need me, my number is area code 914-446-8393. And I do make sure that all complaints go in email, and my email is adowe, that's ADOWE, @cityhall.nyc.gov. I'm going to be here, so you don't have to rush me past my 2 minutes. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Do we have anyone from the controller's office? Oh, sorry.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. Any questions, huh? It's AD as in David, OWE as in Edward, @cityhall.nyc.gov.
And for future reference, Kavan or Alina, you don't need to give out your contact info, right? I have it. I can always relay it to any board member or a member of the public. Just see me after the meeting.
Anyone from the controller's office?
Who's online?
Yeah, no. Public Advocate's Office. District Attorney's Office. Ocasio-Cortez's office.
Good evening, Community Board 11. My name is Daisy Nunez, and I am with the Office of Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez. I have a few updates from our office tonight. Firstly, Congress is back in session. Yesterday, the House approved a 3-month funding bill to avoid an end-of-month shutdown, sending the package to the Senate for consideration. A few weeks ago, Rep. Ocasio-Cortez and Senator Smith introduced the Homes Act, a new landmark piece of legislation which would establish a new development authority under HUD for the finance, construction, and rehabilitation of millions of permanently affordable housing units. If you would like to learn more about the bill, please visit our website. Next, September is Passport Awareness Month. We are pleased to announce that processing times have gone back down to pre-pandemic levels, 2 to 3 weeks for expedited processing and 6 to 8 weeks for standard processing. Processing times begin on the day the Department of State receives your application. Please contact our office for any urgent passport needs. Our office is also still accepting applications for nominations to military service academies until November 1st. The honor of attending a service academy comes with the obligation and commitment to serving the military for a minimum of 5 years upon graduation. If you have any questions regarding the nomination process, do not hesitate to contact our office or email at aoc.nominations@mail.house.gov. As a reminder, our office is here to help you with issues pending before federal agencies. You can reach us at 718-662-5970 or email us via our website at ocasio-cortez.house.gov. We are also available at our Hunts Point flagship office, which is open Monday through Thursday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., located at 1231 Lafayette Avenue, Suite L610, Bronx, New York, 10474. Walk-ins are welcome. Thank you and have a good evening.
Thank you. Do we have anyone from Representative Torres' office? Anyone from Senator Fernandez's office? Anyone from Senator Bailey's office?
Thank you, Kenny. Sorry, okay, hello. I am the Director of Communications for Senator Bailey. I just started in June, so I may be a new fresh face for you, but you'll be seeing me more in the future. I don't have much updates on anything budget
state your
or
name,
legislation
please?
wise. Oh, Rachel Alley.
Thank you.
No problem. So I have nothing, no updates, legislation or budget wise, mostly because I didn't check before I left office today, so that's my bad. But one thing I did want to mention is this past weekend, we had a Caribbean and Labor Union Parade that went really well, and I'm really happy with the turnout. Kenny was there, being very loud, so you know it was a good time. For future events, we're looking ahead for a senior walk in Co-op next week, October 3rd. You don't have to live in Co-op to go on the walk. It's open to the public and it's gonna be very, very fun. We also have a breast cancer awareness event next month with also free mammogram evaluations, as well as a Halloween event on October the 3rd with Bragg. And that's gonna be family friendly, so we're looking out for that. But I have many community resources and future events on our weekly newsletter that I do every Wednesday. It goes as an email blast, but I put a lot of time and effort making sure I collect all the flyers, all the recent events, or any relevant resources that the community may need in those. And you don't need to be in district to receive that. It's very non-biased, neutral, just genuine information that I want to give to the public from our office. So if you're interested in getting that, please email me at rali@nysenate.gov. So RALI@nysenate.gov. Or if you have any other questions, you could call our office at 718-547-8854, or you could grab my card after the meeting if that's easier for you. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have anyone from Senator Rivera's office? Assemblymember Zaccaro's office?
Yes, hello, everybody. It's Evan Weinberg, Director of Community Affairs for Assemblymember John Zaccaro's office. Welcome to the new members and Shana Tova to everyone who's celebrating the new year next year. We had an incredible summer filled with events for people of all ages that began with our signature summer kickoff block party and ended with back to school giveaways. Speaking of back to school giveaways, we gave out school supplies yesterday. It was a great event. We gave out over 150 school supply boxes, and we were so thankful for everyone who came out. Segueing into fall, our office had the pleasure of distributing tickets earlier this week to the New York Botanical Gardens Nightmare Before Christmas Light Show at PS 105, and we'll be distributing more free New York Botanical Garden tickets in the coming weeks for the community. On Friday, October 18th, we'll be holding our Fall Festival from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. at Allerton Playground. We're going to have music, bouncy houses, food, and fun for everyone. Hispanic Heritage Month is coming up, and the Assembly member is again proud to support this community through the Hispanic Heritage Month celebration at PS 121 from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. on Saturday, October 19th. On Friday, October 25th, our office will host the Department of Buildings. This is a time to meet with a member of the DOB and discuss issues like violations, permits, and more. These meetings are by appointment only, and slots are filling up fast, so call our office for an appointment. Moving on to the 26th of October, our office is throwing a second fall festival. So if you missed the first one, you have a second chance. This is going to be from 12 to 4 p.m. at Laredo Playground. Another opportunity to come together, enjoy the crisp fall air, and fun and games for people of all ages. On the 29th, it's our breast cancer awareness mammogram van at Bronx House. We're still figuring out the time. It's most likely going to be 1 to 3 p.m. or 1 to 4 p.m. But it'll be October 29th outside Bronx House. And then, as always, we have many more events coming up, including our turkey giveaways and much more for the later months, which I'll report out probably next month. Thank you all so much.
Thanks, Evan.
Take care.
Thank you. Anyone from Assemblymember Heasty's office? Anyone from Assemblymember Benedetto's office? Anyone from Assemblymember Reyes's office? Moving on to old business. Weird.
So I just want to iterate something the Madam Chair said at the beginning of the meeting. I want to caution the board, or committees, especially in taking maybe what might be viewed as an adversarial role or position, especially with certain agencies. I mean, I know some members of the public are surprised that the Parks Department would have the gall to say to me to foil them. It's not uncommon. It's not the first time an agency's done that. DOT's done it. The Borough President's Office has done it, right? So yeah, while ultimately in some ways a FOIL request is no big deal, I think we got to do a better job at doing our diligence in terms of why we're making these requests. of certain agencies. I could say more, but I got to keep it short. So yeah, anyway, please talk to me after the meeting if you have questions. Thank you.
Any new business? All right, well, with that being said, I want to thank you all for your patience this evening as I got my sea legs. It is now 9:40 and I'd like to make a motion to adjourn. Meeting adjourned at 9:40 PM. Thank you all.